Hello, this is the year 2021. We are looking at November 5th, Friday, heading out, just about to leave here, Hermit Lake, headed for the Sand River Hilton, and we are about to have our 61st year of hunting. Look forward to telling you all about it. Little update on who should be hunting with us this year. Be myself. Sam will be there. Jason's got some complications. He's not going to be able to make it down. And of course, Ryan's out in Arizona. I'd love to see him come back someday for a big hunt. Then we're looking at Jeremy. And unfortunately, just yesterday, Jeremy contacted everybody, and it sounds like Jordan's got COVID, and of course has exposed the whole family. So Jeremy's staying home and won't be hunting this weekend, just in terms of not spreading COVID with the rest of us. I myself, I've been vaccinated, but still the aspect of being able to carry it and the other complications, certainly I understand Jeremy's choice in this regard, and we wish the best for Jordan and the entire family in terms of speedy recovery. Todd will be with us. Doesn't sound like Landry will join us. He's really busy with the hockey team. He's involved in terms of blade changing and making sure they have the right sticks, and I guess he's having a great time there. Then moving on to Jerry. Jerry will be joining us, and we'll see Chelsea, we'll see Joshua, and we'll see Cory. Weather-wise, last year you'll recall we were in the 70s. In fact, for the first time ever, we had to butcher the deer right away Saturday of opener. This looks a little cooler. This week we actually had below freezing weather. It sounds like, though, it might warm up this weekend, and we might reach the high 50s and maybe low 60s. So it's going to be better than 70s, but it's still going to be on the warm side. I must say that the last year, since the last hunting season, has been historically something that I'll never forget. Biden did win, but Trump attempted to circumvent the entire process, went out of his way to challenge voting legally, and the grand finale was on the 6th of January, where he got a rally together and sent them to the Capitol to try to stop the vote counting by Congress, and they rioted into the Capitol. People were killed, and I watched it. I personally watched it live on television, and it was the second to 9/11, the most devastating event I've ever seen. Also, of course, COVID's been going on this whole time. We've now lost 750,000 people to COVID. Fortunately, I think we're upwards of 70+% being vaccinated, but again, it's been a political game in terms of to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. All again, citing back to the way Trump handled the issue to begin with. It was also a very warm summer, very dry, so that the crops here in Minnesota, some of them suffered greatly in terms of there wasn't moisture when there needed to be. Overall, though, things turned out better than most expected, and I think everybody at least had some fields that produced okay. As it relates to the Sand River Hilton changes and updates, you'll recall last year that Jermaine and I purchased we'll call it the Partridge Creek 40, and so over the past year, Jermaine and I have made a number of trails that provide access to the river, and this last fall, Todd put up a new stand on the north end of that property that actually was an old stand, goes way, way, way back, that somebody had put up way high in the tree, a stand that I had hunted back 2000, 2001, and took photos of it in 2008. And now anyways, we have a metal stand up there, and it's a long story, but I have named it Betty's Meadow. It overlooks a wide open area that I shot two yearlings a few years back, the year that I shot 3 deer, and that was in that meadow. Shot them from Poachers, the hill up on Poachers. Also, Todd and I took a stand that used to be on Beaver Point, and we put it up on the northwest edge of Pollock's Landing, and it overlooks an area that both Uncle John and his brother-in-law Bob Jensen used to hunt for many, many years. And Jensen was notorious for not being the best shot, and so kind of recognizing his story, and he's also one, of course, that introduced us to coming in at noon for lunch and taking a break from the hunting. Anyways, I've designated that stand as Shooting Star, and we'll see how far that goes. Otherwise, the trailer's holding up, and things seem to be pretty dry there. I have established a small cemetery where I plan to be buried, and so that's been surveyed and is now a done deal. And so we have roughly a 10 by 10 area set aside for anybody that would like to be green buried at the Sand River Hilton. That for me is an important piece of the puzzle that I've long hoped to establish, and now that's done and over. So my plot is there. It's on the extreme southeast end of our parking lot, and you can see it. There's a birch tree there, and I plan on actually keeping it open and available so that when and where that day hits, we can celebrate my life in terms of allowing me to be buried there at the Sand River Hilton property.
All the hunters,
all hunters come
and
to order.
we still need your full attention. Sam, come to order! I'm here. Damn it!
No speech unless you give him the floor. Todd has the floor.
Okay. Welcome.
Well said, good sir.
Thank you for your welcoming.
It's gonna be a quiet. Gonna
Todd
be
has the floor.
Good, pretty good weather. Cold overnight, comfortable during the day. We shouldn't have too much trouble keeping our meat cold enough. There you go.
Or warm enough.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
Finish the sentence, sir. Finish the sentence.
Todd has the
That
floor.
wasn't an opportunity for vulgarity.
Okay, apologize.
So so here we are. Step number 1. Everyone, be safe. You got a high-powered rifle, and watch that muzzle. You know that it's safe. You know if it's loaded or not. Treat them all as though they're loaded. And you never touch a trigger or touch a safety unless you got a reason to. So, number one, be safe.
Harumph.
Here.
Harumph.
Rule number one.
Harumph.
Number two, try to keep us all informed of where you intend to be. That's just courtesy, and that's about safety as well. If we go, oh, no, they weren't going there, and then suddenly you show up at a stand you wanted to try or something, and somebody's there, and you weren't planning on it, it just causes confusion, and that isn't safe either.
Harumph.
Let's see. Here. Aside from that, we have to figure out who's going where. And I think that can be sort of a casual ad-lib task we'll take on in the next, say, 20 minutes, half an hour. Doesn't have to be part of the official hunters meeting. But in general, things are good. We've figured out that a rogue stand that Samuel observed perhaps isn't a rogue stand, but if anybody notices something strange from neighbors, we got Craig Pionk, I think there's something to that effect, is our new neighbor to the north, and dickhead Daniel Boone is the neighbor to the south. And so if shit like that happens, let us know, and we can all have another hunters meeting to figure out our path forward with it, because we grew up here for 60 years and never had neighbors to worry about. And so that's just another thought. And that's all I have at this time. Jerry?
Request the floor.
Yep.
If you do encounter someone, just stay silent.
Yep.
Nothing other than observe and report.
Yep.
Don't go counteracting. Don't go antagonizing. Don't take them on. Just observe and report. It's no big deal.
Yep.
Okay, so we might go, ooh, he's on our property, but it's not a big deal. Not worth it. Just observe and
our
report.
ownership just changed. We just have new stuff. So
we got
so
new
some
stuff
of that,
going on.
casual mistakes may happen, and
Yeah,
it's
somebody
not a big
shows up.
deal.
Just observe and report. Don't go there. Don't take them on. Just say, okay, I was sitting here. Come back in and say that guy was there, and we'll go from there. Don't take anybody on because it's not worth it. They got a high-powered rifle, and there's a lot of idiots in this world, and so it's not worth it. Not worth it at all. So
next year.
I relieve the floor.
You know.
Yeah, I've got, as
location.
per previous discussions, although no one was terribly coherent, but
We're all.
That's a fair point.
Dr. Kessel down at Lone Oak is an idea.
Kessel, wow, I feel fancy. I've never been called that.
That's the highest level of regard he's ever had. Like, I'm proud.
I'm a car wash doctor, you son of a bitch.
Hey, mind your tongue.
Sorry,
Mind your tongue. Sorry.
Joshua was down at the Pollock's Lower to keep an eye on Dr. Kessel, and that's about as far as we got. And if you guys are good with that, we could kind of consider that a couple of steps forward. Anybody else got desires or suggestions or whatever? Because I really don't care myself.
I'll go east. Anything farther east, I'll take.
That doesn't narrow it down because
you gotta
east
go north.
is like Boston. So
You gotta go north.
Wait, hold on.
So,
I think
I hope you
I
booked
think
a
there's
plane.
Cincinnati in between there. I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe Philadelphia. I don't know.
I had blue line looks pretty damn thick. Don't want to do that. I would do either poachers or boop. I do poachers or boop.
And Boop is actually Betty Cooper. There's nothing out there that looks like Betty Boop. So Betty Cooper was Betty from the Archies. And
Again,
that's where
I'm going to go back to Gaston.
I saw your Gaston.
I'm just
and I was
saying,
like,
you want to think about Chin. This isn't Betty
Gaston.
Boop. I'm sorry.
Gaston.
That
I
helped a
am
lot.
very impressed with Gaston, Josh.
I'm sorry.
So you want to go north?
Gaston is supported.
Yeah.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
I'll go
Betty's
Gaston.
Meadow.
I'll go
Betty's
Betty
Meadow is what it
or,
is.
Yeah,
Call
Betty,
what you want.
Poachers, or what's the other one that is right there on the clearing?
Hatchet East.
Yeah, it used to be blue line.
Hatchet.
Now it's just on our property.
Well, that's
What
the
is hatchet?
hatchet
east?
handle.
Hatchet handle.
Hatchet
Handle.
east is my old one.
Yeah, handle
Since
is
when
the-
did it get east? It was
Well,
hatchet.
you just
all
wanted
along.
hatchet?
And relative to that was hatchet south or hatchet handle, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Hatchet handle.
Don't
poachers.
put more
and-
direction on what doesn't need more direction. If it's hatchet, it's
Well,
hatchet. So
'cause-
hatchet handle, and I coined it.
I love
I coined it Buena Vista. You know why? Because
Buena
anybody
Vista.
who's been up, yes, it's because
Corey,
of the
do you know where
music
you're going
that
tomorrow?
comes. There's usually a
Where are you going?
mariachi
Okay.
band out there. No, it's a beautiful view.
Taco.
You
Oh,
don't
it
even
is
have to
beautiful.
go up on
We're
the
on Johnny
stand.
Flower.
It's
Yeah, I know.
gorgeous out there.
Just
Oh, it's gorgeous out
Going
there.
up.
So
So it's the neighbor's trail,
Snowed, 'cause then it'd be pretty,
neighbor's trail north on the right on the edge.
Do you know where I
And
am?
stand
It's,
you find.
yeah, that's we're talking the
Yep.
same lingo.
Yep.
So while we're working through there, Duane, what is your intent?
Doesn't matter to me.
Jerry?
I will take. I guess I'll go to Don's North again. The Papa Don's Meadow again.
Make sure to face the east.
I gotta face east exactly. I'll try it again. If I have the choice, I'll go there.
Can you face east in that spot?
No.
Yeah.
The tree is
know.
there.
I was like, I
You
don't-
gotta shoot around the tree.
I'll say, I saw it. The most I've seen there is west.
The tree is east, and everything comes from the east.
We
Yeah,
had
but that was where
we had deers like crazy coming from the west.
Yeah, but that was when it was right after it was lumbered, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now they all come from the east, so you gotta turn around and stand the other way and face the tree.
But what's
the other new
The middle
this
one.
is Johnny
no, I know what you're talking about. But there's the one that's just south of that. The
Slash?
no.
That's the only thing south of.
Or are you saying
Papa
that
Don's.
one that's like dilapidated? We don't use anymore.
No, you go through. You go at the end of the road, and instead of hanging a right to go towards Johnny's, you go through the woods a little bit here. You got like it's right at the.
Like IKEA?
IKEA. You have to
Oh,
take
you're
it
think?
out.
Are you thinking the torpedo thing on the top of the hill? That's Vicky's old stand.
So you have slash pile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you drive past slash pile.
Yeah.
Okay, going what direction?
Listen,
North,
listen,
east.
just listen.
Yeah, no, so you drive east, you go past slash pile. If you were to go north, you'd hit the metal. At that
Right.
point,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Keep going.
Continue to go east.
Oh,
Okay.
that's.
Go
Okay.
through the low ground.
You go through the low ground, come back up. If you start to head south, you go towards Johnny's low point and you go that way,
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
But if you continue to go east, you go through the craft.
Yeah. IKEA.
Where the camera was.
Right. Well, right by the camera is what?
IKEA.
Okay. That's my problem.
That's the one I said 15 minutes ago!
You got it.
IKEA.
IKEA.
Sam Coos here, 15-year hunter officially this year. I don't think that's consecutive, but this is year 15. Started off Saturday morning down on Betty's Meadow, new metal stand on the East 40. And right away, even before the sun came up, because we got out there a little early, Jerry decided to wake us all up at 5 a.m. upon his son Josh's request. Yeah, it was so dark. Could hear stuff, could see the shape of a deer moving probably 50 yards west of me, and couldn't get in the scope, too dark. Then eventually, I'd say around 8:15, deer's coming right back to me down the shooting lane from the north side, and walks pretty much right in front of my stand, about 50 yards out. Took a shot, started running at me, shot again. I honestly thought it was a doe. Couldn't really tell if there were horns or anything, just kind of put Brown in the scope and sent her down. Heard a couple more deer kind of just running around. Looked like a doe and maybe something else. They were kind of bleating to each other. But yeah, got a 6-point buck. So biggest deer I've shot yet, which is nice.
Like a nozzle disc. Basically a washer with a hole.
Eat that up, Josh. That was yours.
So we got one more grilled cheese. Eat it up.
That they crimp in on top of the appropriate consolidation.
Somebody who's capable. Samuel? And all right, we went through the list. No, so who's next?
Oh.
All right.
After me.
hold all
I didn't
those.
pass. I was like, wow.
Feed them one at a time.
Who's next on the list? That's the
Skip
fastest I've
Josh.
ever been told.
And I'll
no.
step
Oh,
over here
step
away
over.
from the group and away from all the vehicles. I'm going to try and just drop this into the canopy best I can.
Why are we
here.
strobing? I'm gonna
Sorry, I couldn't get it off.
pass out.
Just hold on to those shells. Don't
I got
drop
'em.
one. Everybody good? Do we have everybody behind me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That would be further west than me.
Yes.
All right.
West. You are the most east.
Hold on.
I lost that. It went over. Oh my god. That one went down.
Two.
Wow, I got that on video.
Okay, well, this is Jerry, 2021. I sat on Papa Don's North, and I sat on the what I call the missile silo this morning. Warm weather, beautiful weather, but I didn't see a thing. So had a great time, and the others got some shooting, and always it's a blast. So thank you.
Josh here. 2021. We had a very quiet opening morning and evening. Didn't see anything. Got lost a little bit in the morning trying to get out to lowland, but had some fun and got there for the evening hunt. And just a beautiful warm afternoon. Sunday morning, went out to IKEA and had a very quiet start to the morning, but then had a doe come in from the northeast of me, and kind of poked her way through and paused for a little bit, and we had a bit of a staring contest, and she came back, I don't know, towards me about I'd say 10-15 yards, and then I see that she's got a fawn right behind her, and so they kind of played the game of both putting their heads down, one headed down, one headed up, and was able to finally get into a decent shooting position by the time she was about 30 yards in front of me. And so the interesting part was the fawn did kind of a stomping thing that I've never seen before, where she kind of stopped and patted her front two hooves on the ground a couple times, and then decided to turn around and walk away, and so that was kind of cool to see. And by the time I got back to the doe, put it up, she had turned just enough and took one shot and hit her right above the shoulder blade and called it good. So got a nice sized doe for the year, and nice easy clean, and no having to trace it and follow it. So successful year. I apologize, I left a part of the story out. See our doe that we got, and then the fawn. So I shot the doe, and when I shot the doe, my gun actually jammed, and so I wasn't able to take a second shot and shoot the fawn. So I'm looking at my gun, trying to dislodge the jam that I have going on. And so at that time, the fawn had run back into the woods, and I'm kind of messing around with the gun for a good 2 minutes. Still haven't gotten it fixed. The fawn comes back out into the clearing, looks at me, and as I'm telling people, it basically taunted me for a good 10 seconds. And by that time, I still can't get my gun unjammed, and it decided to run north and run away. But I could have had two, but I got the bigger one, and hopefully she's back next year.
Let's see, Saturday AM was on IKEA. That's the landing where the camera has sat for many years. The camera's not there now, as it fell down into a puddle, and I really don't know why. But so at one point I did get off my bucket and stand up, and saw two to the west of me in the woods. Actually just saw first one take off like a bat out of hell, and by the time I got my gun in my hands, the second one took off, and I never even rose the gun. So that was at IKEA. In the afternoon, I went to Hatchet Handle and just basically sat on my cushy seat on my ATV and watched the
fine vista there. It's great viewing. This morning went to the top of the high ground at Pollock's Point. It's a metal stand we put up a year ago or so. Really nice to sit up there. Real good viewing, but I did not see any deer. So 2 sightings yesterday, but that's it for me. Glad to see we got a couple hanging here. So.
Cory Kessel here, 2021. I sat in Lone Oak both days Saturday. Oh, that's Josh's deer in the background, not mine, so don't. And like Josh is saying in the background here, yes, I'm an alcoholic. I drink beer and pretend to hunt deer. But yeah, I seem to be a deer repellent. I didn't see anything this year, and that's just the way it goes. So thanks.
Hello, Chelsea Weaver here. Not much of a story this year. I hunted, let's see, Pollock's High opener and last night, and then I went down low today. Saw a lot of great forest critters, including, let's see, 4 grouse total. I think my highlight of the morning today was the eagle that soared over. That was pretty special. Soared over right after I got the message that Josh had got his doe, so that was pretty cool. Another great weekend with the guys. No deer highlights, but was the hero of the day on Friday at Tanks, so that's probably the highlight of my weekend.
Opener, I was on Hatchet East. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful morning. Didn't see a thing. Of course, Sam was just to the north of me on Betty's Meadow, and so I got to partake in all of his action and even could see him as he went down to butcher the deer, or I should say, got it. Then I went actually to Betty's Meadow Saturday evening. Again, gorgeous, beautiful, but absolutely nothing. This morning, I headed out to Poacher's and crossed by Josh at IKEA, and got to Poacher's, got all set up, and before the sun came up totally, off to the north, slightly to the west, about almost to the fence line, I could see a white tail. And as I pulled the gun up to try to see better, my gun was fogged. So I thought maybe I saw a silhouette, but there was nothing there to shoot. Then I'm going to say about 9 o'clock, I'm looking to the north again, this time northeast, along the ridge, and I'd swear I saw the silhouette of something go behind some trees, to the point that I grabbed my gun, I got my gun ready to go, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and it never appeared. Whether it headed straight, in this case it would be straight to the north, behind the trees, perfectly, I don't know. Maybe in fact I didn't see anything to begin with, but it was exciting. It certainly got the adrenaline going, and yeah, so it was a great weekend, and maybe we'll head up again next weekend as well. But if not, this was certainly another great event in the Sand River hunting history.